They stood in the rain, barefoot and begging. The human looked at them and simply said, "Eat first." The sky above the ruined city of Karen was always gray now. Smoke, ash and broken satellites floated where stars once twinkled. Buildings stood like burned-out bones, hollow and cold. And where once millions lived, only hundreds survived fighting. Over scraps, water, and hope, on the cracked stone floor of what used to be a grand plaza, now called the Ash Market, people gathered. No laws, no leaders. Only trade. In a dark corner of the market, two alien sisters sat together. Their skin, once glowing with soft lavender light, was now pale and dull. Dirt covered their robes. Their silver eyes were wide with fear and hunger. Older sister Syrah was barely 20 in human years. She held her younger sister Leela close. Layla's ribs showed clearly under her thin skin. Her stomach growled loud enough to make nearby traders glance at her with disgust or hunger. "I saw bread," Leela whispered. "Real bread, Syrah." Syrah nodded. "Yes, but bread costs too much." They had nothing, not even shoes, no tech, no metal, no weapon. Only their bodies. And the cruel truth of the new world was this: when a girl had nothing to trade, some humans still found value in her skin. A man walked by. Human, strong, dirty face, black beard, worn boots. His name was Jace. He ran a small food stall, cooked rat meat, mushrooms, and sometimes old canned beans. His stall always had a line. Syrah stared at the food on his fire. Steam, smell. It hit her like a punch in the gut. "We offer," Syrah said quietly. "He gives us food." Leela looked up, eyes wide. "What? There's no choice," Syrah said, her voice shaking. "We'll die." She helped her sister up and walked toward the stall. The line of traders, scavengers, and broken souls watched them. Some laughed. Some looked away. A few whispered cruel things. Jace didn't speak at first. He just looked at them. Hungry girls, alien, desperate, not the first to come to him. Not the last. Syrah stood straight, even if her legs shook. "We'll serve. We'll clean. Warm. Your bed. Just food for my sister. Please." The fire cracked. Grease popped. Jace narrowed his eyes. "You think I feed beggars?" "I'm not begging," Syrah said. "I'm trading." Behind him, his stall partner, an old woman with metal hands, grunted. "At least this one's honest." Jace stared at Leela, then at the older sister. "How old is the small one?" he asked. "Too young for that," Syrah said quickly. "Only me. She just needs food." Jace was silent for a long moment. The wind howled between the burned buildings. People waited. Leela swayed. Finally, Jace pulled out a chunk of bread and handed it to Syrah. "Feed her first," he said. Syrah blinked. "No deal?" she asked. "I didn't say that," Jace said. "I said feed her first. You can't trade what's already dying." Syrah tore the bread in half and gave it to Leela. The girl ate like an animal, shaking with every bite. Her eyes watered. Her fingers bled from cracking skin. Jace sat down on a broken crate. "Sit, rest, you'll tell me your story." Syrah looked confused. "Why?" "I like to know what I'm buying," he said flatly. "And who I might be saving." Syrah sat slowly. She was ready to give herself away, to sell her last worth. But now, she felt unsure. Who was this man? Jace threw more wood on the fire. "This world's full of monsters now," he said. "But sometimes monsters get tired of being monsters." Syrah said nothing. Leela curled up beside the fire, eyes already closing. The ash market roared behind them. Deals, fights, screams. But for a moment, near one human stall, the fire kept the darkness away. And maybe, just maybe, something had changed. Jace sat quietly near the fire, chewing on dry meat. The two alien girls sat across from him, one half asleep, the other wide awake and alert like a scared animal. He had seen many like them before, but something about these sisters felt different, Sira watched Jace's every move. She didn't trust him. How could she? Every human she had met since the collapse wanted something dark. But Jace hadn't touched her. Not yet. That was strange. Where are your parents? Jace finally asked, his voice low. Dead, Sira said without emotion. Everyone in our colony is dead. Disease came, then fire. Jace nodded. Yeah. Same story everywhere. Leela coughed softly in her sleep. Sira tucked the thin cloth tighter around her. You care about her, Jace said. She's my life, Sira answered. If she dies, I die too. Jace tossed a small metal bowl toward her. Soup, for her. Not for you. Sira caught it, surprised. Why are you helping? Jace looked into the fire. Because I remember what it's like to starve. There was silence again. Around them, the ash market buzzed with noise, shouting, fighting, cooking, crying. But here, the fire made a small circle of peace. You were a soldier? Sira asked. Jace smiled bitterly. Was, before Earth fell apart. Before we nuked each other, and aliens came to scavenge what was left. Before the air turned gray, and hope became a lie. Sira stared at the flames. Your people destroyed each other, so did mine. She looked at him then, really looked. Why didn't you take me when I offered? Jace met her eyes. Because I'm not the kind of man who buys bodies, not anymore. Sira's breath caught. Then why feed us? He shrugged. Because the world won't get better if we all act like animals. Suddenly, a loud crash came from the left. A fight broke out between two traders. One had stolen water. Knives flashed. Blood splashed on the dust. People gathered to watch. Sira flinched, but Jace didn't move. Let them fight, he said. Only the desperate kill in daylight. Sira looked down at her hands. They were shaking. You have a name? Jace asked. Sira. Her? Leela. Well, Sira. You both can stay near my fire tonight. I won't touch you. But tomorrow you work. Understand? Sira blinked. Work? You want to live, right? You help me cook. Clean. Watch the stall. You're not useless. For the first time in days, Sira felt something strange hope. You'll let us stay? She asked softly. Jace nodded. If you run, fine. If you steal, I'll throw you to the dogs. But if you help me, you eat. No more deals. No more shame. Sira nodded slowly. Deal. Layla stirred and sat up, rubbing her eyes. Sira. I had a dream. There was real soup. Her sister smiled. It wasn't a dream. It's here. Jace tossed another piece of bread toward Leela. She caught it clumsily and smiled for the first time. Her teeth were small and broken, but her eyes still had light in them. Thank you, human, she whispered. Jace stood and stretched. The name's Jace. I don't need thanks. Just don't die on me. As the fire cracked in the cold night came crawling across the ruins, the three of them sat in silence. Maybe the world was broken. Maybe kindness was rare. But in the middle of the ash market, beside a human's fire, two alien girls found something they hadn't known in weak safety. The next morning came with no sun, just gray clouds and bitter wind. The ash market slowly woke up. Traders uncovered stalls. Hungry people roamed, and the smell of smoke filled the air. Jace stood near his fire pit, flipping rat meat over a rusty grill. Sira sat beside him, quiet but alert. Layla still slept, curled in an old blanket. Her breathing was soft now, not weak like before. Watch the fire, Jace said to Sira. Don't let it die. Sira nodded and added more sticks. She had never worked a fire before, but she watched carefully. You'll learn, Jace muttered. Just then, a tall man in a long black coat walked toward them. His face was thin, his beard sharp, and his eyes dark with suspicion. He was known as Ron, a trader with a cruel past. He often bought slaves, especially alien ones. looked at Syrah and then at Jace. You trading now, Jace? Ron asked, smirking. You got fresh stock? Jace didn't answer right away. He wiped his hands and turned slowly. They're not for sale, he said. Ron laughed. Come on, look at them. You could get 10 cans of protein paste for the older one. Maybe more if she sings. Syrah felt cold inside. Jace stepped closer. Leave. Ron raised both hands. Easy, friend. Just asking. You used to be one of us. Not anymore. Ron leaned closer, his voice low. Watch yourself. If you don't sell them, someone else will take them. This market doesn't protect lost girls. He turned and walked away, but not without one last look at Syrah. His eyes lingered too long. Syrah felt sick. What did he mean? She asked after Ron disappeared into the crowd. Jac looked tired. He meant that kindness is dangerous here. If people see me protect you, they'll think I'm weak, are you? Jace gave a hard laugh. No, but I'm not heartless either. They worked through the morning. Syrah helped cook, served customers, and kept Leela close. People stared, some made comments. But no one touched them, not while Jace watched. Later that afternoon, while Jace went to find clean water, a small girl with blue skin crept near the stall. She had no shoes and no voice. She only stared at Leela's blanket. Syrah noticed her. Are you hungry? The girl nodded. Syrah looked around. Jace wasn't back yet. The rules were clear, don't give food away. But she remembered her sisters' cries, the same hunger, the same fear. She took a small piece of meat from the tray and handed it to the girl. Quick, go, she whispered. The girl ran off, eyes shining. Just then, a shout rang out. You stealing now, alien girl? It was Mara, another trader, bitter and cruel. She ran a dried fish stall and hated aliens. I gave it to her, Syrah said. Not your food to give. Mara screamed. People gathered. Syrah backed away, holding Leela. She was starving. She wasn't your problem, Mara snapped. Maybe you want to sell yourself after all? I know a buyer. Suddenly, Jace was there. He pushed between the crowd and stood in front of Syrah. Back off, Mara, he growled. She's stealing. She gave one bite to a dying child. Rules are rules, Mara hissed. My stall. My rules, Jace said coldly. You want to fight? Pick up a knife. Mara glared but didn't move. You're a fool, Jace. This world eats soft hearts. Better than having no heart at all. She turned and walked away, but the crowd stayed. Syrah trembled. I didn't mean to cause trouble. Jace looked down at her. You helped someone smaller than you. That's not trouble. That's what makes you better than this place. He handed her a small pouch. Next time, ask me first, but you did right. Tears filled Syrah's eyes. No one had ever defended her. No one had ever said she did something good. That night, as Leela slept peacefully beside the fire, Syrah stared into the flames. She was still scared, still hungry. But something new was growing inside her. Trust in a place like the Ash Market could change everything. The Ash Market never truly slept. Even at night, figures moved in the fog, traders, thieves, and shadows with hidden knives. Jace slept lightly, his old soldier senses alert. Syrah stayed awake beside the fire, holding her sister close. Leela's face looked peaceful in the soft glow, but Syrah's mind was not calm. She couldn't forget Ron's warning. The man had cold eyes, hungry eyes, and he didn't like hearing no. Syrah looked at Jace. He had saved her twice now. He gave them food, warmth, safety. But for how long? In this world, safety was always temporary. Suddenly, a sound behind the stall. She stood quickly, grabbing a metal spoon like a weapon. A figure stepped into the FIRELIGHD. It was Ron, alone. Don't scream, he said softly. I'm not here to hurt you. Sirah didn't relax. You shouldn't be here. He smiled. I came with an offer, one you should listen to. She didn't speak. You and the little one, you don't belong here, he said. You're too soft. Too clean. Inside, he stepped closer. Sirah didn't move. I can take you both away from this filth, he said. I run a safe house far from the market, fresh clothes, warm meals, guards. What's the price? She asked coldly. He laughed. You're smart, good. The price is simple. You stay with me. Warm my bed. Look pretty for my guests, that's all. Sirah felt her stomach twist. And my sister? She eats, sleeps, grows strong. I won't touch her, promise. No, Sirah said. Ron's smile faded. Think carefully, he warned. You think Jace can protect you forever? He's just one man. No friends, no power. I have both. I said no. He stepped even closer, face now hard and serious. This world doesn't forgive weakness. You say no now. But when Jace is gone, who'll feed you then? He turned and vanished into the fog. Sirah stood there, heart pounding. Next morning, Jace noticed her silence. What happened? He asked. Nothing, she lied, but he saw the fear in her eyes. Ron came, didn't he? Sirah looked away. He wants us. Jace cursed under his breath. I should have ended him years ago. Layla sat nearby, playing with a metal lid like it was a toy. She hummed a strange melody from her old home. She didn't know the danger. Sirah looked at Jace. He said he'd take us in, food, clothes, safety, but only if I belonged to him. Jace's face went cold. That monster, he growled. I didn't agree. He nodded slowly. Good. But what if he forces it? What if he sends people? You can't watch us every hour. Jace was quiet for a long time. Then he said something unexpected. We leave. Sirah blinked. What? We pack up the stall tonight. I know a place. Not far. Hidden. Clean water. Fresh ground. Maybe even green trees. You'd leave all this? Your stall? I built this stall from trash, Jace said. I can build it again, but people like you two, I won't find again. Sirah's throat tightened. No one had ever chosen her. She was always a burden, a problem, an unwanted mouth to feed. Now a human was giving up everything for her and her sister. That night, they packed in silence. Jace took only what they could carry. He gave the rest away to a child missing one arm. The Ash Market watched, but no one stopped them. Only Ron did. He stood near the gate, arms folded, smirking. Running away? He asked. Moving on, Jace replied. Ron looked at Sirah. You still have time to change your mind. Sirah stepped forward. I'd rather starve in the dirt than sleep in your bed. Layla held her sister's hand tightly. Ron stepped closer, but Jace put a blade to his chest. Touch her, Jace warned, and I'll cut your heart out. The two men stared at each other. Then Ron smiled. Fine, run, but the world is big, and I have long arms. Jace didn't flinch. They walked past him into the fog. Sirah never looked back. As they crossed the dead fields beyond the market, Sirah whispered to Jace, Why us? He didn't answer right away. Then he said, Because when the world falls apart, we don't need more traitors. We need people who still care. She looked at her sleeping sister. And for the first time, the future didn't seem like a nightmare. It felt like a path, one they would walk together. The world outside the Ash Market was colder. The wind bit harder. The sky looked heavier. Black clouds floated above a land full of ruins, dead trees, and broken machines. But Sirah, Layla, and Jace kept walking. For hours, they followed old train tracks, stepping over rusted metal and cracked stones. Layla walked slowly, but she didn't cry. She just held Sirah's hand tightly and looked up at the clouds. Are we close? Sirah asked, her voice tired. Almost, Jace replied. You'll like it, it's quiet. They stopped near a large hill covered in ash and weeds. It looked empty, but Jace walked toward a bent sign that said, Sector 12, Storage. He kicked away the dirt and metal, then pulled up a thick steel door hidden under the ground, a bunker. Come in, he said. Inside, the air smelled of old plastic and oil. But it was dry and safe. Metal walls, sleeping mats, storage boxes. A cracked screen on one wall, now dead. No light, except from a small solar lamp that Jace placed in the corner. Sira helped Leela lie down on the mat. Her little sister smiled weakly. This place is warm, Leela said. I like it, Jace smiled. It used to be a military bunker. I found it years ago. No one comes here. He gave Sira a small box. Inside were protein bars, canned fruit, and clean water. This will last a few weeks, he said. But we'll need to hunt and keep quiet. That night, Sira and Leela ate until their stomachs hurt. Then they slept. For the first time in many nights, there were no screams in the dark. No fights, no footsteps near their heads, only peace. In the morning, birds sang outside. Weak, tired sounds, but real. Sira woke early. She walked out of the bunker and looked around. The sky was still gray, but lighter now. The air smelled like dust and wet stone. She found Jace sitting near an old tree stump, sharpening a knife. You were a soldier, she said. He nodded. Long ago, before Earth fell, before aliens came. You killed? Yes. Sira sat beside him. Do you ever feel guilt? She asked. Every day, he answered. But saving you, maybe that's how I pay it back. She looked at him for a long moment. Then she whispered, Thank you. Jace nodded but said nothing. Later, they began their work. Jace showed Sira how to collect dry leaves, how to set traps for small animals, and how to listen to the wind for danger. You're not weak, Jace told her. You just never had a chance to be strong. Sira held those words close. They meant more than food. Days passed. Leela grew stronger. She laughed again, light, musical giggles that echoed inside the bunker. She drew on the walls with old chalk. Her favorite color was blue. Sira learned fast. She could skin a rabbit now. She could tell poisonous roots from good ones. Jace taught her to fight too, not with power, but with smart moves. You protect your sister, he said. So you need to stay alive, Sira nodded. I will, always. But peace never lasted long in this world. One morning, while checking traps near the forest edge, Jace stopped. Footprints. Fresh. Human. He returned to the bunker in silence. Sira saw his face and knew. Is it him? She asked. Maybe. Or his dogs. Leela looked up. Are we in danger? Jace knelt beside her. Not yet, but we must be careful. That night, they didn't light the lamp. They slept in the dark. Number. Fire. No sound. Sira lay awake, heart pounding. They had come so far. She couldn't lose it now. Far away, deep in the woods, a shadow moved through the trees. A man in a black coat, watching, smiling. The forest was quiet. Too quiet. Jace moved slowly through the trees, his boots making no sound on the damp ground. He had a knife in one hand, a small flashlight in the other switched off. He didn't need light to feel what was coming. Someone was near, watching. He had seen the footprints, too deep. Heavy boots. More than one man. They had found the bunker. Back inside, Sira sat with Leela in the dark. Will he come back? Layla whispered. Sira nodded. Jace always comes back. But even she felt doubt. A cold wind blew through the cracks in the bunker walls. The silence outside was heavy, like something holding its breath. Then a sound. Crunch. Footsteps. Sira stood quickly and grabbed the short iron rod Jace had given her for defense. Her hands shook, but her grip was tight. Stay under the blanket, she told Leela. The footsteps got closer. Then stopped. A voice came from outside the steel door. Sira. She froze. It was RONN. His voice was calm, like a man offering tea. I told you this world is mine, he said. I warned you. Now I'm here to collect what belongs to me. Sira stepped forward. You're not welcome here, he laughed. That's not your choice. You're just a pretty alien girl hiding behind a broken man. I said leave. Oh. I will, but not without you. There was a click. Metal on metal. A weapon. Sira's heart pounded. Where was Jace? Ron's voice changed. Open the door, or I'll blow it open. Sira didn't answer. She just pulled Leela tighter under the blanket and stood in front of her like a shield. Outside, Ron signaled to the man beside him. Ready? Before he could count, a loud thud hit him from behind. JSC. Like a ghost in the trees. He tackled Ron to the ground. The gun flew from Ron's hand. The second man raised his rifle, but Jace swung his knife first straight into the man's leg. A scream, blood. Ron rolled and kicked Jace back, pulling out a short blade of his own. You always were soft, he hissed. And you always talked. Too much, Jace replied. The two men circled each other under the moonlight. Sira heard the fight from inside. She didn't wait. She kissed Leela's forehead and whispered, stay hidden. Then she opened the bunker door and ran out. She saw Jace bleeding from the arm. Ron stood over him, blade raised. Without thinking, Sira charged and slammed the iron rod into Ron's side. He shouted in pain and fell. Jace got up and kicked the blade away. You're done, he said. But Ron wasn't finished. He pulled a small pistol from his belt, aimed it straight at Sir JSE jumped between them. Just as the shot fired, bang. Sira screamed. Jace dropped to the ground. Ron tried to shoot again, but the gun clicked empty. Sira didn't think. She grabbed the iron rod and hit him again, and again, and again. Until he stopped moving. Blood pooled on the dirt. She dropped the rod and crawled to Jace. He was still breathing, but barely. The bullet had hit his side. Bleeding bad. Stay with me, she shouted. JSE coughed. You saved me. You saved us first, she said, eyes full of tears. Layla came out of the bunker, eyes wide with fear. Is he okay? Sira looked at her little sister, then back at Jace. We'll save him, she whispered. We have to. They worked through the night. Sira cleaned the wound, using cloth and the alcohol Jace had stored. She kept pressure on the bleeding. Layla held his hand. Jace didn't speak again. But he didn't die. By morning, his breathing was stronger. Siri sat by his side, holding a small knife in her hand now. Her eyes were not soft anymore. She had faced death, and she had won. Far away, the sun finally broke through the gray sky. Just for a moment. Just enough light to remind the world they were still alive. 3 days passed. Jace stayed in bed inside the bunker, weak but alive. Sira never left his side. She cleaned his wound every morning and night. Layla helped bring water, food, and old cloth to use as bandages. The world outside was quiet for now. No more footsteps, no more threats. Ron was gone, and something had changed in Sira. She was no longer just a scared girl running from hunger. Now, she was a protector. On the 4th day, Jace finally opened his eyes and spoke clearly. Still alive, he said with a dry smile. Sira nodded. You're lucky. I'm alive because of you, he said. She looked down, her cheeks red. Where? Even now, Jace laughed softly. Not yet. Layla ran to him and hugged his arm. You're strong like a soldier. I used to be, he said. Now I'm just a man with a good team. That afternoon, Sira cleaned the far corner of the bunker. She had never touched it before. It was filled with old boxes, wires, and dust, but now she was curious. She moved the broken tech carefully, finding old soldier gear badly rusted and a metal locker hidden behind crates. It was locked. But with a few hits from a crowbar, it popped open. Inside, she found a small data core, a black cube with a blinking red light. It still worked. She ran to Jace. "What is this?" His eyes widened. "I haven't seen one of those in years. They were used to store military logs." "Can we open it?" "Maybe," he said. "Bring me my old gear bag. There's a reader inside." She brought it. Jace plugged the cube into a handheld screen. The device buzzed, blinked, then played a recording. A woman's voice spoke. "This is Captain Alina Voss. Sector 12. If anyone finds this." "We failed. The alien alliance betrayed Earth. Our leaders are gone. Cities burning. We tried to protect civilians, but the signal was blocked. I've stored all safe zone coordinates inside this core. If you're human or not, and you still believe in peace, follow the map. Build again." The screen blinked dot, then a map appeared. Coordinates, locations, routes, safe zones. Sarah and Jace stared in silence. "Is it real?" She whispered. "I don't know," Jace said. "But it's the best lead we've had in years." Leela clapped her hands. "A real place? With food? And no bad people?" "Maybe," Sarah said, smiling. "Maybe even green trees and real rain." Jace sat up slowly. "If it's there, we should try." Sarah nodded. Together. For the next few days they prepared. Jace healed slowly, but helped as much as he could. Sarah sharpened their tools, packed food and clean water, and studied the map every night. Layla learned to carry a small pack on her back. They had become a family now. Not by blood, but by choice. By survival. By trust. The night before they left, Jace sat outside under the stars, what few were left behind the gray sky. Sarah sat beside him. "You could have left us," she said. "Why didn't you?" He didn't look at her. "Because when I saw you in the market, I saw myself." She blinked. "But I was just a starving alien girl. And I was a broken soldier," he said. "But you gave me a reason to fight again." Sarah looked at the stars. "I never thought a human would save me. I never thought an alien would save me," he replied with a small smile. She smiled too. Then she leaned her head on his shoulder. The next morning, they left the bunker, 3 figures walking into the unknown. 1 ex-soldier still healing. 1 brave sister holding a map full of hope. And 1 little girl laughing and skipping along the dusty path. Behind them, the bunker faded into memory. Ahead of them, the world waited. Broken, dangerous, but maybe still worth saving.